it out.
Thanks. I thought you were natty, bro.
Hey, I was natural in the beginning.
Hold on,
You
hold
can
on.
start it right there, though. You can start it right there, though. Okay.
First, we got to talk about Drew, the new car, bro. What?
Yeah. Yeah,
The
it's
What?
sick,
new
bro.
whip, that
It's
boy
sick, bro.
whipping that thing.
Bro, you would never think it's a Corvette. It is so much different than my last one, just with it's a dual clutch, naturally
It's very
aspirated
different.
engine.
I test drove it. I test
Yeah,
drove it. It's not.
bro.
It's not a typical Corvette. It's not.
No, it's relatable to probably
A McLaren.
458 Ferrari engine. It sounds like a 458, like the older one, like 2013. Um, McLaren, yes, it glides in the dual clutch, man. It just hooks,
Yeah, it's
bro.
crazy.
It crackles and pops when you downshift like a Huracan, but for under 200 grand, you cannot get a car that's going to perform better than that.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't understand one thing you said with snap, crackle, and pop, but that car looks crazy, bro. Like it's
Nice.
funny because it looks shredded. Like if that was a bodybuilder, that would be like
Shredded.
Drew's
It
car.
fits. It fits, bro.
That would be Drew's car. So
It
No,
fits,
we would
man.
call it the shredder, like the
Yeah,
Ninja Turtle shredder.
the
It
yeah.
shredder,
got
yeah, the shredder.
that to it.
That'd be a good license plate,
I like it,
Shredder,
bro.
right? Yeah,
I like it,
shredder.
change it
bro.
up.
This shit looks crazy, man. Yeah,
Appreciate it, man.
I saw you took your mom out, and that probably had a good
Yeah.
be a good feeling.
Yeah, so yesterday we went to like visit my grandma's gravesite, just kind of drive it around, and it was a little ways away, and the roads are all good. So decided to just kind of hang out and relax and take it the long route and just kind of spend some time together. And my mom loves it, man. She didn't get it at first. She's like, "You spent that much money on a car," and then when she was in it, she's like, "Now I get it."
Now I
Yeah, man.
understand.
She
That's the
realizes
same
the
thing my
difference.
parents did. It said to me, bro, when I bought my RSQ8, because when I downshift too, that engine roars, bro.
It's
Like
different, man.
it's sick. And they was like, man, why you spent? Because my parents, they're both entrepreneurs, and when
Yeah.
the first Cayenne Super Sport Turbo came out, they had bought that for like 145,000. And literally, bro, we had that car for a little while. They was like they were so like meticulous with it. They never drove it, and we
Yep.
were we were so like we were probably. I was just a freshman in college, and I would try to drive it. They'd be like, "Hell no," you
Yep.
know. They were real
You had
like
to go
picky
buy you
with
had to go buy your own at that point, but yeah.
literally. So you know, is when you get these type of cars, man, and it you gotta take care of them, and they're like really prized possessions,
Yeah.
and even like the car that I got, and then you know our boy Zach got him
Yeah.
a GT4.
GT4, yeah.
So it's like when we get into like these car clubs now, it's like, bro, everybody, it's like think of like the bodybuilding
You network.
community.
You network and move different.
But when
Yeah.
it comes to the car community, oh, it's people who got big money. Like
Here,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Cars are not investments. It's an investment in happiness. You're never
no,
going to really get a return on it. But the thing is,
no,
it's a conversation starter when you have a nice whip, especially when you're spending 100 grand, 150 grand, 200 grand, going to exotic car meets. Everybody has a similar drive, and that all is success,
funny
money
story.
oriented. They know how to
Funny,
make money.
funny story. Funny story. Bro, so it's a long ass street right here, like down my like literally a couple blocks away. So it's like a highway. And so I seen this Lambo get off the freeway. I was like, test your waters.
Yeah.
Bro, when I say I got off in his pause. When I say I got off on him, like, bro, he literally like was like this, waving me down. So we pulled off, and I thought he was like he wanted to race again, and I took off on him. He was like waving me down again. So we pulled over to this little school right here. He was like, bro, he asked me, he said, what the fuck kind of car is that?
Yeah.
I
They
said,
don't
bro,
even
it's just
know,
an
bro.
RS-Wait, bro, it's 600 horsepower to the floor, like
Yeah.
stock. Like
People don't
it's
understand how much horsepower that is when you put it down. So I had a Hellcat
bro.
previously. It was a red eye. It was a 797, but it didn't put it down. And it's heavier too. People don't understand that. It's not just about
The car
horsepower. It's
weight,
about, yeah,
yeah,
it's the car weight. It's how you
torque,
put it down.
everything.
Dude, I
And see, like on my car, like
shit.
it shows like how much torque, how much power that you pushing out.
Yep.
Like, bro, these cars are crazy, and I'm
They
now
have
learning
the
like,
they have the
oh,
E-Ray, so it's the still like the Z06 naturally aspirated, but then they have a battery. But the 0 to 60 on that thing's like 2.2 seconds. I'm like, at that point, bro, like, what's the point? That motherfucker's just fast. That's it. You don't even need it. and I'm
Yeah.
not tracking anything. It's actually a nice cruise because you got the active exhaust where you can put it in tour mode. You get like 17
Yeah.
miles per gallon. I mean, it's decent, man. It's a good cruiser. My mom likes it. I mean, she's always like wanting to check things out. And like, she's like, just don't get on it like that. But I did hit it a little bit. It's not
Yeah.
even broken in. She's like, I about shit my heart out my ass. That's what she said. She's like, I never felt like that before. She goes, she looked at me with her mouth open. She's like, I didn't know it was like this. I did not know it was
Bro,
like, what are we gonna do with this?
I thought my Tesla Model Y performance was like a spaceship.
Yep.
Bro, when I bought that RSQ8 and it got a launch mode in
You
it.
gotta send me pictures of it, bro. I don't think you posted or I've seen
Yeah,
it.
I
Man,
didn't.
I
I
don't
didn't
really
see
post.
that.
Yeah.
I
I'm
didn't,
a post. It's one of them beauties.
you guys make me want to be a car person, man. I'm far. I
Didn't
have
you
a
get that Cybertruck?
Bro,
I
just
ordered the
get it.
Cyber. So I have a Tesla Model Y now. I put the order in on a Cybertruck last year. I should be getting it by the end of this year. I'm a tech nerd, bro. Like I love technology, so that's why you see me do a lot of these things with cameras, YouTube, and anything that allows me to be just technologically advanced. So Teslas were like, I was looking at the BMW and the Mercedes Coupe. They're beautiful. Something more family oriented. I want to have kids in the next couple of year or so.
If
So
you do get a Mercedes, please do not get no damn G wagon. Get a GLE
nah, I'm not
63
getting it.
coupe.
Those are
Yeah.
tax
That's
write-offs,
what you
man.
Yes.
So
need.
you'll save on a
Yes.
G-Wagon. It's over 6,000 pounds. I
Like
searched that.
what?
Yeah.
That's what
Please
I
do
would get
not
with the
get a G
coupe, but
wagon.
again, I ended up going with the the Cybertruck, so I'll be waiting
Dude,
for
that
that.
Cybertruck could smoke a GT11 or a 911 GT off the line.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like it
quick.
smokes everything, bro. Like that. I
yeah,
don't even know what it runs on. I think it's a sub 10 quarter mile. It's something crazy, bro.
yeah. Don't even know
And
what
it's
that means.
bulletproof. You
It's
could drive it. You
bulletproof.
could drive it to the murder capital, and you don't got to worry about getting
I
shot.
was gonna say I'm going to O Block, baby. I don't care. I'm going to O
say,
Block.
say what's up to Chief Keef and Dirk.
Yeah.
Hilarious,
Uh, ma-
hilarious.
all right, yo. So we had New York this past weekend, and it's safe to say our first place predictions were all correct. Again, probably the most stacked show of the year. I feel like we're going to be saying that now for the next couple of years, or a couple of shows, better yet. But it's safe to say this one did not disappoint. Now, I'm gonna let Drew run with this. He usually is pretty solid. But Drew, to start, man, what did you see? What did you think? And were you impressed with anybody specifically?
So I knew what Ali was bringing. We knew that he was only going to get harder. He's only going to get drier. We always see these guys that they're used to this. He's in a good mindset. You could tell when they're in a good mindset. Shout out Ali getting the dub again. All of us had it. I was really impressed with Vitor. I think he finally nailed his 100%. I think all of these guys nailed their 100%. Besides Dre, I think he was posing a little bit different. He was still 100% for what he is now, but I wouldn't compare it to his prime.
Yeah.
But I think Edvin looked amazing. The guy that was in fifth place looked pretty
I didn't
solid.
even know who that was.
Yeah,
I didn't
Fabian
know who it
Fever.
was first, but he's a big dude.
I
He's
just
big.
followed him. He looks good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Fabian Fever.
he's a
He
twin
brought what he
too.
brought.
He's
Oh,
a
really?
twin, and he's a twin, identical twin. And his
They both
brother, I don't
compete?
know if he's a pro. Yeah, they look the same, bro. They got the
That's
tattoos in the same
crazy.
spot. One of
That's
them has
weird.
a head tattoo though, but they all have their chest done. And at first, I thought it was some filter that he did, like you versus you, and it's like both of them like doing some picture.
They
And I'm
compete
like,
together?
I don't know, man. I gotta do some more research, but I know that
Wow.
yeah, I was watching it. I'm like, they had similar tattoos, but then I kind of looked at them like the one has a head tattoo, the other one doesn't, and they're all different. So I'm like, he's got a twin, bro, and they're in the same shape. It's wild. So
That's
shout out,
crazy.
shout out to him, man. He looked solid. I think Vinicius looked amazing from the back, but like you said, it's the front. I don't think it's a conditioning thing. I think it just comes down to
Jeez.
genetically, he's not the best as far as structure from
It's
the
not.
front, but he holds
Yeah.
his own in the back, and it's exposed when you got all these guys that are top 10 in the world that are coming peaked better than ever with improvements from last year, like Edvin. I mean, dude, I was really impressed with Vitor. He kept his waist in, and he angled it to where he made Ali's waist look bigger.
Yes. Oh my God.
And
So
you know that that's not the case because Ali does have the tightest, smallest waist. It was the way that Vitor angled it. And also another thing with Vitor, I like these shorts better than his tropical ones. I think they're less distracting. I think a solid color. I think it makes his tan pop even better because usually he looks a little lighter on show day with his tan. But I mean, I was impressed by Vitor the most, I would say, and Edvin. We knew what Ali was bringing, so I can't say that I was impressed because he's already impressive as fuck anyways.
mhm.
But I can honestly say that Vitor, this is his 100%. So he's definitely gonna only get better. He's definitely gonna qualify here soon. and he's doing more shows here in the U.S. So we'll cover that later. But yeah, I want to give a shout out to all these guys. Amazing.
You said Edvon is?
No, Vitor.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he messaged me before the podcast.
Yep.
But yeah, again, like you said, I think this show was extremely competitive. Starting with sixth place, like you said, I think he had the best back in the show. I think that's pretty consistent for him. It's hard for him. Most shows he will have the best back, at all levels. And then I think, like you said, I don't think it was either a conditioning thing as well. When he did the show in Brazil, I think Vinicius was way off in Brazil.
I can say it was probably a conditioning thing, because when I saw him in Ohio, he was peeled out of his mind.
Yeah.
Like
Ohio was wild in person. It was wild.
he condition wise was on.
So
So
now,
it made his look different. And his front is not the best front,
yeah,
but when he's conditioned and his back is even conditioned, it has that comparable
He was more
rank
comparable
stand
to
up there with those
Olympia
guys.
this past year or last year to New York than his Arnold look. I think his Arnold look was his like
Probably his best.
defining peak. It was
Probably
absolutely
his
his
best.
best. I think the New York Pro is more comparable to Olympia, where he was in third call out with me. I think that best back, it just looks like, I mean, it could be stage lighting too. Like I said, I wasn't there in person. And the Arnold being there in person and seeing the pictures did
Yeah.
him no justice at all. This could
Uh,
be a similar case, but I mean, I just think everybody was on. It was a difference in the lineup. So you
yeah,
got this was the strongest show this year.
hands
This was
down.
the strongest show this year. And another thing with Andre is
it's
he switched
crazy
his
to keep
pose.
saying that, like to keep saying that this is the strongest showing. Like it's a lot of hitters that have not stepped on stage.
Was there
Like
12
it
shows
is,
left in the US?
I think
bro. Like
it
where
did.
are these guys at? Like
Yeah.
where
Well,
they at?
you got Arya, you got Charjo, you got like Chris Barr, you got guys that are right there. You know what I'm saying? That haven't, and then you got guys that like are coming back that are previous Olympians. You got Alex, you got Stephen Cow, you have a Vitor that isn't qualified yet. I mean, there's so many guys,
Yeah,
and Vitor's gonna get a show. It's just and there's overseas shows as well. It's just
Yeah.
a matter of. I'm impressed with him because he's been on prep for so long. He did Olympia in November and then stayed on till the Arnold, and he's done already 4 shows this year, and that's the biggest thing. And he's improving.
I was gonna say, and he got better,
Yeah,
and that's the most impressive part. Like, take it from me, somebody who did 5 straight shows last year in 8 weeks. I got significantly worse as the shows went
But
on.
you also have to understand why he's getting better.
He's the best coach.
He has a new coach, but the
Yeah,
they're
thing
learning
is,
his body. They're testing
what his
peaks.
protocols were back then are not what they are right now. So that's why I think he's getting extremely better. And especially with him dialing the food in and Cuts doing what he does with him, that's the only reason why he's still be able to push the limits. Because I'll tell you right now, I guarantee you that Cuts is asking him for blood work very often right now. And if that
yeah,
blood work was not on point, his ass would not be competing, or
That's true.
he would not be coaching with
That's
Cuts.
big. That's big with Ariel too. For the people that don't know, Ariel makes it mandatory to get your estradiol check, your blood work on or off cycle, literally to just make sure everything is comparable to your pretty much your natural before you even started anything. So
Uh,
longevity purposes, I mean, these guys, there's a lot of guys out there that'll keep pushing shows and chase their tail, and they're getting worse. There's a reason why he's getting better, and a lot of it you could tell how to diet, and how you can tweak somebody just by their blood work. They might have one thing that shows, and hey, I'm going to change, these things around just so they could get more of a benefit.
yep.
But plus, Vitor could also, I mean, size is an issue with him. He could come in flat. I know for previous shows like
can't come in
overseas
flat.
before Ariel, he was
I wouldn't feed him in the morning. I'd feed him.
yeah, he wasn't eating on show day. It was what he was used to. So I think that the first couple of shows were getting the kinks out of the armor of what he was used to, because I think he was just more bloated.
Yeah,
And you could tell in his midsection. He has a great midsection. It's just a matter of finding his sweet spot, angling it. And I I thought I had Ali winning, we all did, but I think that it was very, very close to where once I saw the pictures, I'm like, this could go both ways, because Vitor had him on the chest and the back density, but Ali edged him out with, I think he had better tan. I
he
think
did.
he just popped
Better
way
tan,
more,
the
and he held his
conditioning,
poses. Yeah.
he's harder than back.
All right,
Yeah.
Aaron, let's start with you. Was there anybody who was a specific standout out of that top six who you want to note?
Not necessarily a standout, but all these guys brought it. You know what I mean? That's one thing that I'm gonna continue to say this year. Um, People are coming with their A game. You know what I mean? There's guys who have been showing up consistently getting those top spots. You know what I mean? For Ali to do what he did, the Pittsburgh and the New York, that's huge. For Vitor to again be second and then second again, that's still huge at these bigger shows. So it's nothing that any one of them that's a standout is that it's just I'm just proud of everybody bringing their A game because
Yeah.
once it comes October, I hope
Yep.
everybody on their A game.
Absolutely. You're not winning a pro show, especially starting in we'll say mid-May till the end of the season if you're not on your A game. That's just the
Right.
reality of the situation. It's any given Sunday sport. Like you said, the guy who placed in fifth, nobody even knew who he was, and now he's beating people who already qualified for the Olympia. So let
Right.
that be an understanding for anybody out there. We'll give a quick rundown here. Again, fifth place, Fabian, like you said, he looked phenomenal. This was a coming out party for him. I think he's going to have eyes on him as he continues to step on stage this year. A fifth place finish in this lineup is no small feat. And like you said, he's a smaller guy, more dense. He had great conditioning. And again, I think that he is still lacking in the back department, but he makes up for it with just a general, grainness and hardness in his physique. And again, he's a little bit more dense, a little bit untraditional in terms of quote unquote men's physique, but yet and still has a nice flow to his physique. And then when it comes to Dre, fourth place, this is where it gets hard because I don't believe Dre was off. And I think I'm just comparing Dre to the Dre that I have nostalgia with growing up watching. And I think realizing that that's not necessarily the Dre of the current is a little bit hard for me to swallow. I mean, I had Dre personally in second place due to his balance, and the thing is, he wasn't off. I think his posing is a little different. He tried to pose almost more effortlessly. Like he didn't have like a bend to the knee, wasn't really creating a base for himself. And again, that could obviously be for good reason, but you will see Dre has tried to change his posing in his front shot multiple times over the last handful of shows, over the last couple of years, and
Bro,
again,
you have to understand, like Dre Dre doesn't have the smallest waist. He has to try to angle his waist when you're getting on stage with guys, regardless if they're straight on or if they're posing at an angle. These guys' waists are fucking small.
yeah.
So he has to try to angle to fit in on stage with these guys, and it's very hard because their fucking waist is tiny.
Yeah,
Tiny.
Absolutely.
and he still has that twitch in his back shot that I don't know if it's just because I'm looking at it now because
It'd be habit. I think it's habit. I think it's his way to find his sweet spot is by doing that because
yeah,
I think he would have figured it out by now, but I think it's just like it's Dre's signature thing. Other
But
guys do it too.
I thought it was an injury that he always said he had in his back.
yeah,
So
It
I
could
don't
be,
know.
but I'm used to seeing the traditional Superman pose. And like Aaron said, he does not have the smallest waist, but I think when he hits the Superman and angles it, it gives him such a wider taper up top that it makes his waist look smaller. And I think that that's better. I told Dre, I messaged him the other day. I said, stop playing with these guys. Hit the Superman pose. Hit the
yeah,
pose that you created. You are the first one that hit this pose. You created it, and now you're going back to maybe a mainstream
I
posing
I
style.
also wonder what his weight is right now. Like I think Drake
he
can
can come
drop.
down.
Like I think he can drop because the thing is, like he's getting blockier. So I think he needs to pull the weight just a little bit to pull a better look of conditioning out, and
Mhm.
I think he would be good.
I agree.
But it's just
Listen,
I don't know what I don't even know what they got going on. So
I'm curious to know what his feedback is. That's the biggest thing.
one thing
I didn't
about
even ask him, but I'm curious to see what his feedback would be with the new pose that he hit.
man,
that
he,
that's a good
he
point.
don't get feedback. Dre don't
Yeah,
Well,
know
that's no, I know that, but I'm wondering what it would be. You know what I'm
what it
saying?
would be. Yeah,
Would they would prefer the Superman
right.
pose, or did they want him to pose this way? What made him pose that
Bro,
way? What
no,
did Omar
hell
say?
no.
What
They
did
would have never told Dre to go away from that. Like,
Yeah.
if
That's
Dre
why I
hit
wonder
that
why
shit
he
in
did.
2018 at the Arnold and everybody went ooh and ah and like that shit is crazy, they would never tell that man to shy away from the pose that he created.
Yeah.
No, I don't ever believe that. You can't. No,
That's
hell
why
no.
I'm curious to know why
That's
he
just
changed
like
it up.
Tyler saying, "Oh, don't hit your back how you hit your back." No, I'm gonna hit my
Yeah.
back how I hit my back. Like, no, what?
I mean,
I want
it
to Mr.
works.
Olympia like
Why
that. You
change
really
it?
think
It's
I'm
not
like,
broken.
what? No, you can't do that.
Now, like we said, Dre already committed to doing Miami. We'll talk about that, but Miami is
Woo!
going to be a stacked
Miami is
show.
heating up.
It is going to be a stacked show, but let's finish
Let
New
me jump
York.
in.
Let's finish New York, but again, he's going back for the Trident, and it's going to be one hell of a show. And like we've seen over the last couple of years, Dre is not necessarily been that guy who's 100% on the first try. Like a lot of guys, they get better with time. So, as we seen him last year, he's going to progress, get better, and it's only a matter of time before he qualifies. It's not a matter of if. And then at third, we had Edvon. Now, I've obviously had personal battles with Edvon, multiple times throughout the season. Last year, right, placing second behind him twice. And the thing that stood out about Edvon last year was what is the opposite of what stands out about him this year. Before he was, first of all, like roughly 22 pounds heavier, right? He had more of a grainy look to him. Like, again, almost didn't necessarily, I'm not going to say looked men's physique, but again, he got blocky. That's just the reality of it. There was a big difference between Edvon in 2022 when he placed fifth at the Olympia versus 2023. And now there's a big difference between his 2024 packages, which I believe is like a happy medium between the two. Dropping the weight, I think the weight cap saved him. I really, truly do. And the fact that he made the weight cap, credit to Cuts, because again, more magic happening. Now I think he lost some of that hard, dense grain, but I also think it makes it a little bit more of a polished look for him. So his conditioning is still on point, right? And that's no question. His midsection is very aesthetic. His posing is just simple, clean, efficient. I think this was the best back on Edvon that he has ever had in a show.
Agreed.
I think this was his. If he nails this look with a little bit more, I don't know if conditioning is the right way, but maybe just detail, I think he is going to be a massive standout. And he's going to be that guy right back in that conversation for top 8, top 5 at the Olympia. There's no question about it. I'm a massive fan of his look. This personally was my favorite look of Edvon. And I thought the reason I may have been able to edge him out last year, which judges didn't agree, was simply due to the fact that he was almost teetering over what men's physique, quote unquote, was, because he was harder than me. He was more conditioned than me, right? There was no question he had more detail than me. But what I thought over him was, hey, who looks more men's physique, right? So that was the only question mark. But in the same breath, Edvon now looks men's physique, but also is carrying more muscle on his frame than he did when he was in 2022, and still is almost streamlined his physique with the added muscle. So really impressed with him. To me personally, outside of Vitor, he was my favorite look of the show, and really, really proud of the way that he's been able to progress. And keep in mind, he's been competing now for a while as well. So these guys,
And I do think he hit his front shot a little off.
like
His,
like
his
it was off.
it wasn't turned. It wasn't turned, and that daggering V taper wasn't hitting
So
how
some
you.
photos I noticed that he was, but some he wasn't. So he kept hitting it differently. So that's what I think kind of moved him to where he was. Because if I'm looking at it, I think it came down to not necessarily the physique, but it could have been posing, because Vitor nailed his posing and held the
Yeah,
poses, and Edvin
literally.
was moving around. So that's the difference between, one placing at the highest level you could be at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I agree. But again, really good look for Edvon. I'm curious to know whether he's going to shut it down or not. He's already in the States. Typically,
Is he
knowing
qualified?
him, he's already qualified. He qualified in Brazil a couple of weeks ago. So I wouldn't be
He needs to
surprised
go
if
back home and work
if
on
he,
it.
but he's already here. So he qualified last year and then jumped right into Mexico and then won that also. So Cuts, he might just have him run it up a little bit.
It's all
And
good. They
then
got 6 months to run it up, so run it up.
and he don't got to grow. So,
You don't.
um,
You
and
don't.
then we have Vitor. Again, to me, this was the best Vitor of all time. Posing was significantly improved. Waistline looked absolutely insane. Midsection looked the best it's ever have. I truly want to have Cuts on here so I can pick his brain, because I want to know exactly how he peaked him for this show. I'm curious to know whether he didn't feed him or if he fed him harder the night before, but he also managed to come in full as a house, which when I watched the show, I was like, holy shit, I think I have Vitor winning
I
this
know. I
based on,
think I messaged
When
you,
you
and I was
saw the
like, "Bro,
chest and then you saw the back and the difference in width and just
yes.
density, But Ali, just as far as the polish and more men's physique, I think it did come down to who was closer to the standard. And that's why I think Ali got it. And he had a perfect score. So
I listen. I get it. Conditioning kills. There's no question about that. Like I just this was one of those shows that my eyes was more for the first time was more drawn towards Vitor because of the fullness. And I just
That front shot and that pose
yeah,
was like,
it was different. It was a different look from the week before and just extremely impressive because we always said, what if we haven't seen him 100? We were talking a few weeks ago
yep,
when he won DC. Was he 100? We're like, I don't think we ever seen him 100. But
yep.
now he's putting it together. And I think it just took time for Ariel to learn his body. And now he's catching his stride. So this is going to be really interesting to see him in Miami, because he's
and
not
I want to
regressing.
give a major shout out to Oreo Cuts because the man just had twin boys
Yeah.
prepping
Is peaking these guys.
peaking three guys,
Congratulations, congratulations.
peaking three guys at the New York Pro. He had Eric as a classic guy, and he had the two guys in men's physique. So, Ariel's is a
Different.
man that
He's
I
just
just
different.
don't get. I
Yeah,
don't get, man.
you got to get and again cuts.
Man.
I don't know how he does it, man. But again, congratulations, not only just on the success with your clients this year, but simply on having the kids. I know that he's been homebound now for the last little while, making sure that he's taking care. Usually we'll see him at some of these shows, but I'm sure he'll be hitting the road sooner than later. And again, it's really cool to see somebody being able to manage, and have the success that they do with their clients on stage, and obviously the success what they're doing at home. So that's big. Like you said, Vitor, to me personally, best look of the show, best peak of his career. And I'm sorry, if he continues to build on this, he's going to be. We've seen him. Vitor has been one of the only guys since he stepped on the Olympia stage for the very first time to consistently progress at every show that he's done. Like he didn't regress, he didn't fall back. Like his only regression is placing third and third again. Like it's never a regression. So he's literally getting better every single show that he does. If you go back and look at the stats, he never went from first place back to second place. He has literally went from third place at the Olympia, ninth place. He went at the Arnold, whatever it was. And now he placed third place back to back at both Arnolds and all of these pro shows. He's or the big shows, he's placing second. Where last year he
He's
placed
always a front runner. He's always a front runner. Whenever he does a show, we're like, hey, he's right there. So
always. So
shows are only getting better too. Like we say every week, this is the best lineup. No, this is the best lineup. And then we got shows that are coming up that are already don't even have the list out, and we know who's doing it. And it's like a mini Olympia.
it's scary. Yeah. It's like dude. The second call outs is going to be stacked. Put it that way. Like that's how you know it's going to be a problem, right? And I don't know if y'all remember, but that Miami stage is hot. So they're going to be tight up there. And then lastly, of course, our guy Ali, dude. Definition of men's physique, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and say if he can fill out that chest and a little bit more in that back, I truly believe that he can stand on stage next to Aaron. He can stand on stage next to Ryan. He can stand on stage next to Brandon, and again, give them a run for their money. I think that he's going to expose.
If he definitely puts the package together, he's definitely in that top 5, push for sure.
Because again, you guys got to realize, like, I held these guys side by side, and I took a very close look, dude. I'm taking. And I never thought I would say this. I'm taking Ali's midsection over Ryan's. If you take a look at how deep that separation is, it's scary, man. And
it's
now,
the obliques and the way he poses it, and it's that the side that he actually is money side.
Nobody has that. Nobody. There's a big difference between conditioned.
I told y'all that he got
the lines. The lines are different. The lines.
Like Drew, somebody who prides themselves. Somebody who prides themselves on conditioning like yourself, right? What would you say your physique has more of, conditioning or detail? Because Ali has both.
I think it's detail. I think it's skin texture. People kind of get it twisted a little bit. You could have two guys on stage at the same percent body fat. There could be one guy that looks significantly better based on skin texture, muscle maturity, but it usually does come down to detail. Some people just can, have more detail and better detail, more vascularity, which also aids to that freak factor look. That is the difference. It's the defining factor. And
Absolutely.
Ali has that detail. He has the lines. There's certain parts, like he doesn't have a crazy vascular back or like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like a crazy Christmas tree, but he has it in his front. It's kind of like Derek Lunsford. You look at his glutes, they're peeled, lined out, hamstrings are dug out, but his front, he doesn't have like chest striations like a Hottie or some of these other guys like a Nick Walker. Each guy has their own strengths,
Yep.
So that's
And
how I look at it.
well, I'm
I
sure
think the
we'll.
only thing that's gonna hurt Ali is when he gets to the Olympia if he does not work on that back.
That's the only thing. But let's be real, man. Look at Ryan's back. From New York Pro, for example, right? Same timeline that Ali has to when the Olympia was, right? Look how much he improved since then, right?
Yeah.
It's the proof's in the pudding.
Yeah.
Ali's only been improving. So like, he said it in his post show interview where he was like, "I'm more motivated than Ryan Terry right now. I'm
I
more
saw that.
motivated." He said, "I'm more motivated. I have 6 months, and I'm getting back to India, and I'm going all in. Like I'm
He's
not."
chasing it. He's chasing it. It's harder. It's harder to, I think, stay on the mountain, like we talked about last week. It's harder to stay on the mountain when you got all these guys gunning at you. When you have somebody to work to beat, or you're gunning for that top spot, I think you do have a different sense of being motivated. That's why we do so many shows to qualify. There's no points anymore. You have to win a show. So we're
Mhm.
so hungry now. Let's say I qualify next week and then I go into another show after that, you're not going to be as motivated because I think that it takes the stress factor out a little bit. You just kind of go in, you're like, oh, whatever, I'm already qualified. Kind of like George Brown. He said he doesn't give a fuck. He's just doing his thing. He already has that qualification. Now it's just kind of playing around, just coming in, relax, seeing like different peaks, how it affects your body. But he, at the end of the day, already has that ticket. So it's a
Yeah.
little bit different.
And I agree, and that's the same thing. And I said it, bro. Like I said, I qualify next week. I'm telling you right now, I am next show that I do. I'm peaking in a way that I've never peaked before. I'm going to try something
Because
completely
you can
different
push yourself and then see, take that
because
stress factor out of it.
I need to learn my body, and I want to make sure that I do so in a stressless environment by also utilizing, just factors that
You're not used to.
could potentially bring my physique to life, but I've always been hesitant because of how big the opportunity is right in front of me. You don't want to, you know what I mean? So limiting this simple stress factor is going to be the same variable for me. So again, I think that's why it's such a opportunity as we're young, man. Like let's not forget that too. Like when Drew, you've done so many shows, Aaron, me just last year, I've had different opportunities to see what worked and what didn't work, but I didn't have a stressless environment. I was beyond stressed, trying to do everything in my power, and I was just digressing the entire time. So having that opportunity would be amazing. Now,
I see a difference. I see a difference in you this year, in your physique, and
yeah,
also just in your whole demeanor. More motivated, reaching out. We started this podcast literally off of an idea that you had because you're motivated. You're in a different headspace. Last year, you probably wouldn't have done that. You had so many different things going on. You're gunning to qualify. You're hard on yourself. And then when you don't place where you want, you feel defeated. And we talked about this before. Like that's why, we have an off season and then we come back better. And that's the only way to really go about it. Everything else is out of our control.
you said it perfectly, man. And regardless of whatever happens this week, the way I would handle it is significantly different. It's
Yeah.
just I've been there at a position where I had all these expectations going into the show. Drew, you even said it. You won the show, and you thought I had that potential to win the show, right? So imagine when I'm in the second call out and I'm sitting there like, hold on, what
They got a number wrong or something.
yeah,
Like I'm
I'm
right
looking
here. Like,
down. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm looking
I
first.
didn't understand it. I was looking for you. I didn't even understand it. And I was on stage. I'm like, because I thought like the mix was going to be, you
Me,
had three
you, and
or,
Nick. Me,
yep.
you, and Nick. And I'm sitting there like, I'm looking at these. I was like, oh, I know this nigga did not just get called out over. I looked down. I was like, he was right next to me. He probably got the wrong number. That makes sense,
Yeah.
right?
Hilarious.
No, but again, that moment did so much for me as an athlete, man, and it's hard for me to wrap my head around. Very probably similar to the way that when Aaron he got called out second at Legions. I have seen such a clear difference in the way that he approaches this game and this sport ever since that moment. Like it's so night and day, and it doesn't mean he's not locked in. I think he's locked in more. I always say this, man, like you might be hearing him less, but because he's doing more. And again, it's very clear. And like I said, man, that taught me that moment taught me how to be a professional. But we're gonna lose in this sport more than we're gonna win. Even when you get a
Absolutely.
resume like Aaron's, we're gonna lose more than we're gonna win. But Aaron,
Right.
I have to ask, man, at a moment like you did at Legions, and then coming off the Olympia, and then placing third, what was that moment like? What would you say the biggest lessons in those moments were that propelled you to be this version of yourself? Because this version of yourself looks 10 weeks out looks just different.
Man,
I've been waiting to hear this question asked.
it taught me a lot, man. And like you said, how I approach it, how I respond, how I just live life as a bodybuilder, you know. Because I had to think like, bro, this ain't football no more. You're not smacking heads every weekend. Like that game is done. This is a game of chess and how the body scientifically works. And if you have this stress, you might be off. If you break a bottle of gear and you use some other shit, like you're going to be off. There's so many different variables that goes into winning and losing in this sport, and it could be just off they didn't like me that day. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, um, man, it taught me to sit my ass down and shut the fuck up and really put the work in. And I've been not in a dark place after losing, but in, in a dark alley to where, oh, is this by myself? Y'all can throw whatever y'all want over them motherfucking fences. I'm here.
Yep.
I like that analogy. Not a dark room, but a dark alley, because in an alley you can still see the light at the end of it, right? So
Facts.
when you're focusing on that and not just in a dark room and you're just living in your own head,
Yeah.
all you got to do is keep moving forward towards that light.
That's it.
And I think 2024 is you again about to step into that light. I said it, man. Listen, even as an athlete, listen, I said it when you were Mr. Olympia. I want to take your job. We're all here to take your job, right? But in this
As you should, yeah.
but in the same breath, like I'm also a realist. When it comes to this, I truly believe you at your best, you beat
Can't be beat.
you
Yep.
beat you can't be beat. Right now, there's no question in my mind that you at your best can't be beat. So when I understand, when you hear that, and I know you feel that deep down, like
Yeah.
I want you to understand that's the best feeling, right? Like when
It,
I
it, I know it because I get reminded every day. Cuts don't. This year, Cuts has been the hardest he's ever been on me.
good,
We've been. I mean, we're best friends. Like we talk every day. We do the whole shebang. You know, I love him to death, but he kind of stepped away a little bit as being my friend and became more of my coach and said, "This is what your ass is gonna do. I don't give a damn if you like it or not, bro. Y'all used to see me post, oh, sushi every blah blah blah. I don't
Yeah.
get shit, bro. He is
He's got
not
you doing
playing with.
more cardio now, 10 weeks
You know
out, than
what
I
I
think
mean?
you ever
So,
did. Yeah.
bro, it's just a whole
That's
nother
when you
level,
know.
and I'm okay with that because I know how to be coachable and what I know what it means and know what it takes to be great because I've been there already.
yep.
So now it's like, okay, lock the fuck back in, do what you gotta do, shut everybody ass up again. And that's all I'm doing. And I ain't even gonna say a word until
Yep.
I step on that Dubai Pro stage. And then when I step on this Mr. Olympia stage, it's just gonna be what it is. Because everything has improved. You can't sit there and be like, oh, Aaron looks the same. No, Aaron is very a different Aaron this year. So it's just the time is coming.
I'm
I,
excited, man. I'm excited as hell. And I'm a competitor, but I'm a fan before anything. That's why we do this. Like I'm excited to
Right.
see this look, bro. I
It's
better get
absolutely.
coming.
those exclusive updates, man. I got to see this stuff. It's gonna motivate me.
It's coming. It's
Yep.
coming,
I
bro.
always say this, man. Never judge a man, by his successes, but judge a man how he responds during his lows. And I think this
And
year
bro,
was very
I was at
clear.
a low. I was at a low, bro.
Yeah,
Like
bro, bro, trust
when
me.
I had lost the Legion, like the world just whoop flipped right
Yep.
upside down. Like I got so much shit. Like people just saying the most, and it didn't necessarily get to me, but I'm reading and seeing this shit, and it's just like when I got into the my mindset was still like go get your shit. You know what I mean? But I still had them noises
Little
like
chirps.
if I fuck up, like this is gonna
Yes.
be bad. And then when I
Yeah.
placed third, I said, "Oh." I
Did
got
you
off stage.
expect it? Do you think you expected it, Aaron? Like going into the Olympia after Legion, what was going through your mind?
I'm gonna
That's a
be
good.
100% honest with y'all, and I ain't never told this to nobody, even well, Cuts knows.
He knows everything.
Going 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 into this that Mr. Olympia, we we was a little hesitant just based off of the Legion and just how I had to peak so hard for the Legions, and then to turn around and try to do the Mr. Olympia, it was just so much that we both went through as a coach and an athlete, and then knowing that I didn't do my best and knowing that shit was going on in my personal life in 2023, I wasn't fully committed here to push a fully committed Aaron Banks on that Mr. Olympia stage. So I knew it was like, okay, if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. It's just like, all right, whatever. Like people thought I was gonna be fucking like pissed off, mad, blah blah blah. Bro, I got off the stage and hugged my kids and said, "Let's go."
Can I ask you something? And
Yep.
I don't want this to come off. That's why I'm sitting here trying to think. I word this.
Are you
I'm gonna
good?
use I'm gonna use myself as a reference, and I think this is funny because it's true. Like a lot of times during these lows, people go find God, right? Like they recenter themselves, and they're like, they go refine something to give them a
Right.
purpose, right? And
Absolutely.
honestly and truthfully, that's what happened to me. Like I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. After those lows, I felt lost, and that's when I refound my faith. Growing up as a Christian, and then stepping away to just maybe not stepping away, but just focusing on other things in my life. So I added that recentering in my life, and I think that's helped me so much now, just mentally. Again, just it's kind of the concept of let go, let God, and I'm doing His work, and He has a plan,
Absolutely.
right? But that wouldn't have happened if it weren't for those lows. Now,
Yep.
for you, and again, not trying to come across any
Say it.
disrespectful way,
Say it.
but
It ain't gonna ever disrespect me. Trust me. I know.
do you think that you became a better father because of your loss that allowed you to then put so much into them because prior you were riding maybe such a high? And I'm trying to make, again, not saying to say you weren't prioritizing them, but again, almost just kind of putting all of your emotions instead of into branding, social media, into
Yeah.
all of that, you put it right back into loving your foundation.
I wouldn't say it made me a better father. I would say it just made me a better man overall. Bro, this bodybuilding shit, I don't give two fucks about. I am a father first. Period. I'm a grown ass man first. All this bodybuilding shit, it don't really get to me like that. But it did make me a man because one, knowing how to lose, and putting it all together and focusing back and reflecting on everything. It was really like, to be honest, a weight off my shoulder, because again, from so much being put on my shoulder from the rookie to the sophomore year and the junior year now, so it's like it was more of a relief for me.
Yeah.
And like I said, when I got off that stage, man, I just hugged my kids and said, "Let's go," and I love y'all. Let's do what we want to do. Like, let's go wherever y'all want to go. Let's do it.
Yep.
But man, when it comes to being a father, I couldn't be a better father than I am now. You know what I mean?
I see it, man. I see it.
It's
It's special. And
my
honestly,
kids are like, man, like y'all
but
people have no clue. Like I had my mom and dad been married for 35 years, 36 years. Still have both of my parents. My dad wasn't the most loving dad, but he was that hard loving dad. You
yeah,
know,
Yep.
he wasn't the dad that come here, boy, give me a kiss. I'm
that's my
that type
dad.
of dad.
That's my dad.
That's the type of daddy I am. Like, come here, boy, let me give you a kiss. Like, come
Yeah.
here. So it's just like I've always wanted to always up my dad in that
Yeah.
aspect. But my dad is still one of those lovable dads, and he always shoots the shit all the time. If y'all meet him, and
We'll definitely go meet him.
he
We
would
go.
really say like, bro, y'all act just alike. Bro, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. But you know what I mean? I don't know, man. Like I just became a better man, and then just even like going into this year with the whole viral video and with the Joy Swole shit, like, bro, I really had to step back and really reevaluate like how people viewed me, and just like that that's not me.
I
Like
was just about to say that.
that's not me. Like y'all don't even know me in person. Like I'm the most energetic, most loving, most caring. Like, bro, I feed homeless people. I mentor D1 athletes. Like, bro, I do so much in my community. It's crazy to people to be like, oh, you got people walking your video, blah blah blah, like, own a gym, blah blah blah. I'm like,
We still
okay,
get it on the Men's Physique radio page, and I kind of
yeah,
just, what does that say about those people that are still dwelling on that? They're not
yeah,
treating you for face value. I always treated you off of face value, no matter what somebody said
right,
about you, just
Always.
as if I would expect the same if somebody heard something negative about me. How do I
true,
treat you? How do you treat me? That's how it is. And what I love about this group that we have, this trio, we all found our faith through adversity.
Yes.
right,
So failing, and maybe we thought we would never fail in certain ways, certain aspects, but we all
right,
learned something, whether it was being a better father, whether it was being a better son to my parents, whether it was just being a better person to myself and really focusing on self-love and getting that mind right. We all had to really take time to, get our mind right. We went through that dark alley, like Bank said, like we came out the other end, and I think we're all in a really good position right now. We could all relate with different experiences, and then we're able to come together, cover the sport, talk about our own personal experiences, share with the people that are viewing this, and hopefully make an impact on them, just like, we've made impacts on ourselves.
right.
Yeah.
And it,
You
it, it
said it
all boils
perfect.
down to like the mental health too, man. Like, and I do want to plug my facility. So just partnered with a mental health facility. I will be opening my own very soon, but it's I'll send you guys the the Instagram and stuff. But it's My Time Recovery. It's out here in Fresno.
Okay.
We help so many people, so many different people around the world. People from around the world come to little old Fresno for mental illnesses and alcoholism and so many different things. And I know it's Mental Health Month, so I had to get that a little plug. So again, if
Yeah,
I
man.
like
anybody out
that.
there that are in a darkness or in a dark alley, like reach out, reach out.
I want to, I want to, and you guys can comment below if this is something you guys could found value in. We want to have a podcast, a separate episode where we do center around just that mental health and kind of like our adversity growing through and going through those situations and kind of how it made us a better man, better athlete. I know we touched on that briefly, but whether it was from binge eating to relationships to Drew's story, who literally almost died and came out of that, and Aaron being at the mountaintop, falling back down and climbing his way back up. And same thing when it comes to myself, just, reaching a height at such a young age and then, giving me a false sense of expectations, or at least what I thought was going to be handed to me, and all of these things that allowed us to be the people and man that we are today. And again, so
Absolutely.
comment below. I'm not sure if you guys would want to see an episode like that or a portion of an episode like that, but I think that could be extremely valuable because a lot of you guys, we see bodybuilding as a physical sport, and I can promise you this, man, it's just as much mental as it is anything else. So if you
Oh
can't
yeah.
if you can't control what's going on up here, I promise you
Right.
what's going on out here is not going to be as efficient and as primed as it could be. So just
Right.
keep that in mind as you young athletes coming up here. This
You
sport
gotta
is not
line
for
it up.
everybody.
You gotta line
You
it
got
all
to.
up.
You got to. I mean, again, New York Pro, one hell of a show, and
Yeah.
we want to give a quick shout out. Personally, I want to give a quick shout out to the IFBB. I'm sure you guys have been seeing it, but I think it's really cool, man, that Tyler Mannion, he's doing these recap videos, giving us an understanding of what he's seeing. And I think there's just more of a presence, and even hosting like a national or a natural league now, like turning the Pittsburgh Pro into an expo next year. Like
Yep.
so many cool things that's happening in our sport right now, and this is the time to be a bodybuilding fan and to go all in on it. So those of you supporting and watching these podcasts, we appreciate you. You know what's the coolest thing, bro? We're getting females watching the podcast who have nothing to do
I've
with men's
I've
physique.
noticed that. I've noticed
Yeah,
that. That's crazy.
I
That's
got a
crazy.
message. I got a message from a pro bodybuilder. He is massive following on social media. He DM'd me and was like, "Hey, listen, I've been watching your guys' podcast for the past two episodes, and I will truthfully say I'm embarrassed. I hated men's physique. I hate it. We made fun of the board shorts in our community. It took me watching your guys' podcast to realize, you guys are literally just like us, and you guys train hard. We go through the same shit together, right? Our
Nice.
mentals are very similar. And he was like, truly felt embarrassed watching that with how I was just having a conversation with a friend making fun of men's physique. So he was like, I will never be doing that again. And I think that really stood out because the main reason we're trying to have this is not only to shed light, but also bring up our division, the vision that has allowed us to live a lifestyle that's comfortable, happy, and again purposeful. So it's cool, man. It's cool. But nonetheless, we have had the
There's
Junior
questions.
USA talk.
Oh, no, we don't have questions. We'll get to them
Not yet.
questions.
Not yet. Not yet. Not
Yeah,
yet.
I'm
He's
already
waiting.
ready for the questions.
He's
I'm like,
he's
what's
he's
up?
in that zone.
This,
Yeah.
this portion is quick. You guys seen
Oh,
what happened at Junior USA's this past weekend?
yeah, we've
Yep.
kind of talked about it a little bit. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Drew. Speak on it first, because I'm
All
gonna
right.
intervene and get my little 2 cents.
Let me get my let me get my low
So there
calorie.
was there was a men's physique division, and
It was
there's some elbows. You go ahead. You explain it, Alex, and then we'll
Yeah,
touch on
okay,
it.
yeah, I'll give some context. And keep in mind, I know these guys personally, and I used to coach one of them specifically, and I now communicate with the other pretty regularly. These guys were first and second in their class. There was a center, and you guys will see it here. There's a guy on the yellow shorts. For those of you guys who have been on stage before, you guys know on stage it can get very tight. So oftentimes the guy it's called taking ground or covering your getting ground. So you'll take a step closer to the judges, and the other guy on the right hand didn't like that, so he tried to do the same thing, and kind of moved his elbows in the direction of him aggressively, right? So he kind of pushed him off of his shot. So elbows were tight, and Sandy stopped right then and there and was like,
Wasn't
"No, no,
having
no,
it.
no, 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 no,
She
no,
wasn't
no. We
having it.
don't." He said, "We don't do that shit." So he's like, "It's not happening.
Knock it off.
Knock it off." And it caused a lot of I'm not gonna say controversy because it wasn't controversy, but it caused a lot of conversations to happen. And again, these guys were battling it out for a pro card. This is first and second place, and also keep in mind more context. This was the only class they rejudged at this show, so this was a very close battle. It was very close. Like they brought these guys back out for finals, and this happened at finals, and they said, "Guys, this is very close right now. We oftentimes don't do this, but we have to make sure this is right." So they brought them out. They went to battle, and the battle turned a little physical, and the guy actually flew off of his shot, like off, damn near off his feet, and kind of rolled over
Yeah,
to the left side.
yeah.
And Drew, I know you mentioned that there were some things that you didn't necessarily love about it, and I'm curious to know kind of where your head was.
So the biggest thing is you're on stage at a national level show, and the goal is to be an IFBB pro, a professional. If you're going to be a professional, you need to conduct yourself like one. This is a contact free sport. I get there might be some room. There's a lot of, tension brewing. These guys want it bad. And I could see that. There's times on stage where I had some elbow nudging and whatnot, but this to me was a little bit more than just a nudge. Um,
Yeah.
I know these guys personally as well, and this is nothing personal. I think that type of activity should be disqualified. And the reason I think that is because people that are coming up are going to see this happen, and people love drama. People want to see it. It's reposted, like, check this out. And they laugh about it, and they think it's funny or cool or whatever it is. Then they start doing it on stage, and then they think it's okay. And since the judges aren't disqualifying anybody, there's no real penalty that we know of. But I think that in a way this can affect people moving forward. I think that they should deduct points. I mean, it's just like posing. You pose, you got to hold yourself professional. You got to hold your poses. You walk out on stage, you got to be in control. When you're making contact with somebody else in a way that personal, that is not conducting yourself as a professional. And I
Yeah.
think that that should be deducted from just, everything else. I'm really big on that. I'm really big on watching bodybuilding. It's a visual sport. I mean, Steve Weinberger is very big on this too. Even when Bumstead and Dino were touching each other on stage, he doesn't even want them to touch, even if they're
But
joking.
but 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 Steve isn't as serious when it comes to those guys because again, they're putting on a show. You know what I mean? Yes, we're judging this as a bodybuilding show, but we also have to understand that this is a business and this is turning into entertainment for sales and people more tickets and yada yada yada. It's the same thing for open bodybuilders. Like when Hottie
Kai and
did
Phil.
what he did to everybody else. You know what I mean? The pushing, the nudging. It's going to happen, but the blank like to I didn't see it like this. Looking at this video, I didn't see it all like that. I saw it from a side angle. It didn't look like that crazy, but that
It looked
it's
deliberate.
it's going to happen. But this is what I was going to say. And this is what I was going to talk to Tyler and some of the other judges about. Like, when we get into these first call outs,
Yes, I know what you're gonna say.
we need y'all to place these people where they need
Yes,
to be and do not
yes,
fucking move.
yes,
Because
yes.
if
Thank
you move,
you,
that's where you get the disqualification. Because fuckers
bro.
are they just want to be next to you so bad. It's weird. It's the
Bro,
weirdest
it's
shit ever. Like, I don't want to be
wild.
next to you in the first place. You fucking stink. Like, bro, like it bruh.
Well, you
Like,
can't wear deodorant with the tan.
I'm gonna be 100. Like, bro, these fuckers stink. Like, bro, I don't want to stand next to you anyways. So the thing is I think the IFBB should put fucking like
I
seriously, like,
agree. I
bro,
agree. I
you stand
agree.
right here. Do not
Yes,
move. You stand right and give them space. Cause bro,
yes.
this shit happens too often to where okay, we can't disqualify everybody because it happens every show. It's just not reposted every show. It happens, but the thing is, bro, like this shit is unnecessary, and I'm so sick and tired of getting on stage, even at the Mr. Olympia or at the Arnold, and people are fucking just crowding. Like, bro, scoot your stanky ass over.
No, bro, I'm so happy you just said that because I could not agree more. I feel like this is such an easy fix. Just like how they have a center box. I'm not saying put up another
But
box.
no, but
Put
listen, you
something.
don't have a fucking expediter on stage for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
You
Exactly.
Yeah.
pay them fucking expediters. Tell them
Yes.
motherfuckers to space them out.
Like be on their ass, man. Like
Bro,
I,
it gets ridiculous.
if you're deserving of being in the middle, those motherfuckers are gonna move you to the middle. Like they get paid to do this shit. They're pros at what they do, right? Like
Hello.
you will get moved to the fucking middle. Like listen, my last name is Toplyn. Every time I get called out, motherfucker, I am on the end every time. No matter where I start, I am on
Right,
the
right,
end.
right, right, right.
So
Yeah.
I'm
But
gonna
you
know
got to
whether or
get moved
not.
in.
Yeah. So no matter what, I know whether or not I'm gonna be deserving of being put in the middle sooner than later. I ain't
That's a
gonna.
good
I ain't gonna.
point. That's a
You
good
know what I
point.
mean? So if you have a last name that is either very early or very end, like you better get used to it and stop being stupid, man. Tyler Mannion has come out and said this. Like and he said it when he was pissed too. He was like, "It will look so much better for you if you take a step forward instead of backward. Don't ruin your shot, because bro, they don't give a fuck if you're not in your shot,
That's what I
gentlemen.
did.
Gentlemen, turn around. Like they don't
They're
care.
gonna skim over you.
You're
They're
gonna
gonna
skim this.
miss
They're
your.
not gonna
They're gonna miss your points. Yep.
Yep. So again, get your shot. And I always say, keep a mental note, right? You can still cover ground. Like
Yeah.
you don't need to hit your back shot in the back every time, but don't waste a shot by trying to throw your elbows
Elbow.
back and trying to get back there. Hit your shot no matter where you are on stage. Motherfucker, if you got a good back, they're gonna see it, right? Turn back around, right? And
Regardless,
now
if they next to you and they in front of you, regardless, bro. The same thing Tyler told me, bro. He said, Aaron, don't even step back. Just step forward. Don't worry
Drew,
about
don't
nobody
step
else.
back.
Step forward.
Don't step back. Drew, you better not try to step back on me, bro. Drew.
I'll just lean back a little.
Hey, hey, you know what's gonna be fucking funny? If both of y'all crowd each other. That shit gonna be comedy.
Man,
And then I'm gonna get on this goddamn podcast and be like, look at you stupid fools up there. Look at you
It's going
elbowing this shit.
we gotta
What
set
you
the
doing?
example.
Nah,
Hey,
exactly.
but wait, ain't y'all in peak week?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna be
Ah,
honest. I'm gonna be honest. You know, this show was not on my radar for the longest. I was supposed to be traveling to Junior USA's, the show we're discussing last week. I went to the airport. Literally, Drew was DMing me while I
I think
was
I
in the
saw
airport. I was in the airport, and all my flights got canceled. And I was with my athlete too, and his flight got canceled. We were flying out
I
together.
seen that. Yeah, I saw all
And yeah,
that.
You know Dorian.
Yep.
And then we were like, what the fuck is happening? We had to come back to my house, figure out what the hell we were going to do. The only flight we could take was a 2-hour drive to Orlando the next day,
Ooh.
which would then have me having because I was flying back the night of the show. Anyway, because again, I was still in prep, so I wanted to make sure I'm home as long as possible in my normal check-in locations. But that would be me flying all day, or not all day, but there's also no direct flight, so connections. I'd have to be driving 2 hours, flying to Orlando, or flying to wherever, Dallas, and then connecting to wherever, and then it was just all over the place. And I decided not to go last second, like after booking a hotel, after booking a rental car, after buying my videographer's flight, after buying my flight. I say I'm not
That's
adding this.
wild.
I'm not,
That's a headache to a upset stomach right there,
dude. I said
especially
I'm
in prep.
Exactly. And I said, and not to mention on Friday, bro, I got 2 clients like competing. I'm walking around all day. I'm traveling back
Hey,
and forth
hey,
to see
Drew,
them.
tell your coach to quit posting my check-ins. He gonna
Damn,
say,
when was
"Can I
that?
post?"
Fasted?
He,
That was fasted?
this was this was 11 weeks out. This was last week when I was 242. He was like, "Can I post this?" I'm like, "Bro, go ahead."
Man, man, look at
Bro, that
that.
Kind of big back there.
That's wild, bro.
back looks stupid.
We coming back, man. We back in business, boys. Back
Yeah,
didn't have
It's
a
gonna be
pop like it
exciting,
had
bro.
last year though. I
we
didn't
back in
have.
business.
I seen that. I seen
Let's
that.
see that.
Your shit
We
looking
back in
Yeah,
crazy
business.
right now.
keep walking around, Alex. Keep walking around, and
Hey,
stay
I
on those feet.
I
Stay
sat
on
my
those
ass
feet.
home. No,
Yeah.
but on a serious note, I didn't end up going. I was talking to Drew literally like, hey, I'm not going to do Optimum just because of all this added things I have on my plate. Literally ended up not going that night and started thinking whether or not I was going to be prepared.
Yeah.
Just because we didn't plan for it. Like we didn't test peak anything. We were, but when I'm comparing my photos to my best
Yeah.
look in Miami, and I'm looking at my back right now and my obliques, I'm just like, it doesn't. I'm not my best, and I think I'm just right now. If I don't do it, it's just me sitting here, almost
Wondering what if.
Overthinking.
one.
Yep.
Your
Yeah. So
ass
like,
overthinking. Like when I saw
so
that back post you posted this day, I said, "Oh, he on. He there."
Hey,
so
I saw it too. I actually screenshot it and
Your ass
zoomed in because it was
screenshot it
so
too.
far away. And I zoomed in. I'm like, let me see how he's looking.
I will say this, man. Like
Hey, it look good though. It
this
look good.
battle is going to come down to, and again, I don't know who else is doing the show. This I'm not going to talk like it's a you and I battle, but this between you and I, this is going to come down to preference of the judge. If we're both on, that's just the reality of it. Your strengths expose my weaknesses, and I think my strengths expose your weaknesses. And I think if we just simply control what we can control, I think the reality is of whoever can mask, because let's be real, I worked on my weaknesses, you worked on your weaknesses, right? So we're also just simply improved. And the reality is I know I'm 100%, not even close, better than last year, and we all know you're 100% better. And right now, my biggest issue has always been consistency. So I can sit here and talk a big game, but I also know if I nail it, there's not many people out there who can keep up with my strengths. But again, you don't necessarily, even when I think you have a Clarence effect to a small degree, because like even the best version of you or the worst version of you is still first call out top 2, top 3, and it's been proven over the years. So again, and we've seen a bad version of me is 8th place. So again, it comes down to the peak. No matter how good I feel like I look now, which again, truly, I feel like I'm better than Miami.
I'm ready. I'm ready to have some fun, bro. I wouldn't want to, do it with anybody else. We just
And
needed
this is
Banks
what
in the
I do
mix.
want to. No, I ain't gonna mix. No, y'all can have that. Y'all go play. Y'all go play in the water. I'm good. Y'all good.
Drew,
I'm good.
Drew,
But
yo,
this shows, bro, like how
let's see if it was cute.
positive how positive men's physique can be and how the competition could be good because man, both of you guys are sitting on a fucking peak week up here doing a podcast, you know what I mean? So man, hats off to y'all because it's not like y'all bringing crazy energy, but you guys are
No.
aware, you're here, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. I don't know how I'm gonna feel going into Dubai, but I'm still gonna do the
We'll
podcast and
get
make
you
it happen.
right. We'll get you right. We'll get you right. We'll talk.
Listen, I'll say this: Drew has, and Aaron, I mean, I said this in a video too. You guys have become one of my closest boys in this division. There's no question about that.
Right, absolutely.
Like we talk regularly about anything and everything, and
Yep.
just because we're going to be going against each other is not going to
Right.
change that. If I don't win, Drew, I want you to win. It's as simple as that.
Likewise.
Like,
Right.
if I don't win, I'm cheering. I'm cheering my ass off if they call your name out. Right. At the end of the day, I just pray to God that it's a 1-2 situation.
Right.
And from there, again, we'll be back on stage battling it out again. It's only like we're all trying to get to the same place. And so
Right.
if you can't have camaraderie in this shit, man, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like, that's just the reality of it.
It
But again,
becomes out of our control. We already put in the work. There's no reason to walk around like you got to stick up your ass, like trying to play like, everybody's your enemy. Like, there's people in the sport I don't necessarily, like, but I'm not disrespectful. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? We could still
But
go
see,
on
and
stage
here's the
and
thing, and I definitely want to hit on this. I'm glad we hitting on this because when I first came into the league, bro, I fucking talked good about every single body. Go back and look at the interviews. I talked everybody game up. Bro, as soon as I became a threat at the Mr. Olympia, people fucking
mhm,
turned so fucking
switch
sideways
up.
towards me.
Yep.
And bro, one of them was a fucking good friend of mine. Like,
yeah.
bro, like it was just weird. So the thing is, I'm like, bro, this is just fucking bodybuilding. You go to the gym, I go to the gym. You fucking take this, I take that. Bro, you stand on the same stage, we standing on the same stage. And I don't even bro, the shit that I've gotten into with some of these dudes has been just so weird to me. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Cuz bro, I'm not the type of person I've stopped being the confrontational type of person back in college where it was a whole different ball game. But the thing is, it's like, bro, I'm too goddamn grown to be arguing with two grown ass, not two, but just many grown ass men. Like, bro, like for what?
I feel
There's
you,
no
man. And
reason for it, bro.
again, and like I said, I think back in the day, I think the football mentality kind of put me in a position where I was trying to take
Yeah,
everybody's head off, and I
yeah.
just got to a point where I didn't enjoy the the lead up to shows as much. But like a big reason I wanted to do this was because Drew was doing it. Like he beat me last year. Like let's be real. Like he beat me.
I
Like and
told you I wanted you to do it. I've been
I
telling you. I
know.
said get that contract in at 3. I'm like, because we
I
don't
know.
know
I
who
saw
else
the
is doing
message.
the
I'm
show.
like, oh shit. I said, oh
You got
shit.
to do this,
He
man.
really trying to beat his
It
ass.
motivates me. It motivates
Yeah.
me. And I know
And
you're
and
motivated from it because, you're the
Right.
biggest competition in my eyes
yeah,
for the
bro,
show.
listen, I don't know who else is doing it. So again, this is going to be out after the list. So guys, if you're doing it, no disrespect, but it's the same thing, bro. Like I can't shy from competition. There's no shows at this point in this season that I'm going to step on stage and it's going to be a clear win. It's not happening. It's not happening. This is the pro leagues. Like again, there's going to be competition everywhere you go, and I want to prove to myself that I'm as good as I know I can be. And I think that's just the reality of it, right? And I think this is an opportunity for me to do so. Drew is a fucking vet. He is somebody who literally doesn't know how to be out of the first call outs. And for me to beat somebody like Drew would be a massive, notch in my belt. And I want to keep it going. This is not my only show, guys. I'm doing at least 3-4 shows this season. I'm far
You got
from,
Miami. I think you said St. Pete's. I mean, you
yeah,
got some you got
I got,
some lined up, so you're going to only get better too.
exactly, bro. I'm telling you, like, I don't know if I'm breaking
Qualified or not, you're going to still improve because you're going
no
to take
matter
things
no matter what.
and improve.
I listen, and I told you, like, I'm not kidding when I say this. Like, there's a good chance I'm going to India. Like, I want to compete in India. I was talking to Ali Bilal about it.
Be
Drew,
careful about
Aaron,
that water.
I was gonna say, Aaron, I'm
That's
not
what I
drinking
was
that
going to
water.
say. That's what I was
Do
going to
not
say.
drink the water.
But and not to mention like starting, the board short business. I think it's smart to go international, and I have clients who live out there
Very
too. So
true. Very true. Very
it'll
true.
be easier. But I've always wanted to do it. And to be honest with you, you guys put something in my head which really changed my perspective. I was going to go to Tokyo in August. So that means that'd be
Mhm.
me being in prep for so long, and then I'm sitting here like they brought up a good point. Why do that? If I can just get my competitive season done in June, even if that is 3-4 shows, and starting in May and then end of June being done, like with a week off in between. Like, why not do that? Like, why string my season out to August, tire my body out, and when I can really get a clean, a little bit of a break health wise, and then fire on all cylinders for the O, right? So
Exactly.
you guys have helped me make that decision, but I also have always in my career I want to do one international show a year. I did one last year in Mexico, and guys, I know it's only Mexico, but the people who came up to me just from the YouTube stuff that I'm doing,
Crazy.
they couldn't even speak. They couldn't speak English. They were just asking to take photos, and it was it was really cool. But
Yeah, I'm
that's something
definitely
that
thinking
I'm
about
looking
doing an
into.
international show, either somewhere in Korea or in Tokyo or somewhere over there. It's definitely needed.
Yeah, shit.
Our presence in men's physique is
Yes.
needed. We need bigger names to go there to heighten men's physique. You know what I mean? We want to grow the division. All these top guys can't just sit in America and just fucking twiddling their fingers. No, go travel.
If we're
Go get your brand bigger. You know what I mean?
next year, if we're all qualified, well, when we all qualify next year, I think it'd be cool, especially with the
Hey,
podcast
hold
or the
on, chill,
direction
chill,
we're
chill,
going.
chill, 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 bro. I'm always
Qualified for life.
qualified, nigga.
He said he's
Hey, chill
chilling,
out,
I knew
bro.
it. I knew it's coming.
I'm chilling.
but we
Hey,
should plan something like that.
but
That'd be
absolutely,
dope.
next year, let's definitely do an international show. The
All of
thing is,
us.
bro, they don't see us. They never
We could
see us. They
we can
see
do a
us on the
live seminar.
videos,
Yep.
That would be
bro.
sick to do.
Huge, nigga.
Live seminar, live podcast. They might not be able to understand us, but hey, it'll still be good.
Hey, it is what it
Um,
is.
but again, Drew, it's going to be an honor stepping on stage with you, brother. And
I can't wait to
again,
see it.
it's going to be
Excited to see
fun. This next month, it's going to be fucking
Likewise, man. I can't wait. That's
gnarly.
why another thing, just also to get content. There's a lot of things that we could do
Yeah.
before the show, after the show, kind of update on how we feel, things like that. I mean, there's a lot of different avenues that we could take while doing this podcast. I want
Yep.
to give people a little bit more insight into what it's like on show day, show week. Like Aaron said, we're in prep right now, and this is what makes my week. Being able to talk to you guys kind of bullshit, it motivates me. And there's going to be a time to where Banks is going to be down and low, but you know, this is something that you're going to probably look forward to do every week. It's going to kind of just
Yeah.
balance out everything, all your nerves, get you something to look forward to, and just
No, trust me.
keep
Like
you motivated.
when I'm in prep and like doing something and I know I'm low energy, bro, and I know I have something to do. That gives me like some type of
Yep.
energy to kind of push through it, bro. It'd be an hour and maybe 20, 30 minutes, but the thing is, it's like if I have something to do and it's going to get me to kind of open up and talk, oh, I'll be good.
You're not
It'll be
thinking
good.
about the food. You're not thinking about,
No,
just stressing about what
at
ifs.
all.
There's a lot of what ifs that go through your mind when you're super depleted and
Facts.
your body's achy.
Absolutely.
What if my flight's delayed, or what if this, or what if I don't make weight at check-ins, or what if I don't pee? Like, there's a lot of things that we all think. It's no,
Yep.
you're never in full control of anything.
Yep.
Never.
So you said it perfectly, man. All right. Your boy is getting hungry. Last meal of the day, but I want to throw out just a few fan questions, and then we'll wrap up here. I do want to end with something about that bracket we're doing. But
Yeah, that's right.
does your sex drive get drastically lower in a prep?
Last
My,
3 weeks
I'm
it
gonna
does.
tell you right now, my thing work all the time.
Same with
My thing
me,
work all
but
the time.
it just gets lower when I start to dry out. I don't know if it's just I'm less
Bro, I swear,
I don't
like I
know,
don't know
in the
why
mood.
my
I'm just
energy be
tired.
like that. Like 2 weeks a week out, well, my energy just be crazy. It's weird.
Now you
Yeah,
guys know.
not me, bro. I think I'm full married life, bro. First of all, I'm king bottom at this point, and then
Right? That ain't no thrusting up top.
I,
It's over.
It happened. That's how I know you're peeled.
bro, I ain't moving. I ain't moving. And then, bro,
Oh
honestly,
damn.
what might go from like 4 or 5 times a week right now is like once a week on a good day, on a good week, bro. I'm like, I'm tired.
It be like that sometimes. I have my
Yeah,
little periodic weeks to where it's like, okay, I ain't doing all that right
under
now.
4 weeks for me, it's like, nah. I'm gonna turn on my show and go to sleep.
Hey, I'm single, so I don't even think this question applies to me. All I know is,
Shut
I'm
up,
just
boy.
so
You over there
Easy,
focused.
look,
humping some
this
ducks, man.
motherfucker looking like Zac Efron out here. I'm sure you got girl. You can just tell.
Man.
Hey, no, it don't work that way. You guys would be. I'm not gonna even go into detail with it. Let's just say I haven't been with anybody this year yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I respect
Wait,
that.
wait.
I can respect it.
Hold on,
I
hold
can
on, hold
respect
on.
it. He's grinding. He on his shit.
Bro, during your Olympia run, you was catching bodies? Like, come on, bro. He said the whole year. January, February, March, April, May. Come on, bro.
Right. No, this year.
Yeah.
This year.
I
We're
give you
going
credit.
on we're going on 5.5 months.
Shit, you might
Hand
win
on the
then.
Bible.
You
Ariel even said, he's like, you're lying. I'm like, no, I'm not lying.
babe,
He always says,
we're done having sex until we qualify. It's over. I'm coming for him.
maybe that's the secret. That's my
That's
secret.
hilarious.
I'm not
Oh my
flattening
god.
out.
That's funny.
Maybe that's why I was trash at Chicago. I was right. It was the night
I know
before.
we had that question.
Yeah.
Hey, just
Yeah,
now
don't
you
do it
know. Now
before
you
I
know
tell
what
you that.
works.
Oh wait, did you guys see on the Fuad Abiyad channel? They answered the question.
About the syrup?
Sarah,
What
It's
happened?
trending. I
What they
wonder
say?
where that came from.
that's what I said, bro. Nah, but they sided with Drew. They white. It makes sense.
Yeah,
It,
it makes sense.
it makes sense.
It all makes
One misconception about bodybuilding you'd like to debunk. Ooh.
Stereotypes. I think it's just that the biggest misconception to me would be I think people that don't necessarily understand the sport, they don't think that we're smart or educated. It's just
Yeah.
like commitment and we're very selfish. It is a selfish sport, but at the same time, this is something that we choose to do. And I think the misconception would just be, stereotyping a guy as just, a dumb bodybuilder or a player. I've gotten that a lot too. Like, and it's not true. It's nothing further from the truth, but people believe what they want and they hear me talk every week and they kind of got insight on the character that I am. And I put this sport first, my business first, my clients and my friends and my family first. Everything else, comes after. This is my window of opportunity right now. So just for the people that are out there, yes, there are people in the sport that act a certain way that maybe makes us look bad, but that doesn't mean that we're all like that.
I couldn't agree more. I have to say the drugs aspect.
a
You will
funny
not be an
angle.
Olympian because you take testosterone. You will not be an Olympian because you take tren. It's not the reality of the situation. And I'm telling you guys right now, just because you see somebody who's big does not mean that they're going to be, or because you hear somebody's taking drugs, it means they're going to be the best bodybuilder in the world. PEDs will help expedite the process if you're continuing to do everything right.
Bro, but I'm gonna hold you on that. It ain't even necessarily the outside people who be giving us that bad rap. It be the fucking natty bodybuilders versus the people who take their PEDs. Okay, fucking natty bodybuilders. Your daddy take testosterone. So listen, like this shit is so annoying to me. It doesn't matter if someone is taking PEDs. You still have to put in the fucking work. You still have to eat a fucking diet. You still got to do cardio. They do the same shit you do, but yes, there's a little bit of an enhance. And don't sit there and be like, oh, Aaron Banks, blah, blah, blah. Motherfucker, I went pro, all natural. I placed
Same with me.
second after USA's natural and became an
Same
IFBB pro.
2019.
Bro,
Listen,
so it's like you can don't. I'm so sick of the fucking natty bodybuilders versus this fucking PED shit. It's so annoying to me. It's
I'm gonna go
annoying
out.
as fuck.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna talk about Drew's favorite bodybuilder. I guarantee you, if Dan Ibrahim was natural and stayed natural, he'd be a better men's physique athlete.
I agree.
Because he turned pro natural, won the overall natural, and dude was just getting into his lifting journey.
I seen him in person when he did Illinois State when he qualified. I think it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I remember seeing him in person, and you would never think he's
When
natural,
when he got
but
on, it
he
wasn't the
looked good.
same.
a dude just blew up, and I'm not saying it's a bad way. It's
Not a
just
bad way at
Threw
all.
off balance.
he's
Threw off
still a freak.
balance.
It's just again, if he was more, he won the overall in front of Tyler at North Americans for a reason, and then his physique just grew, like it just kept going. You know
He's
what I
what
mean?
you would call a hyper responder. So he's a
Yeah.
guy that looks like he's on gear when he's not, but then when he actually does take
But you
gear,
also
his
got to
receptors are like
understand
that.
and know like, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now. Some of these, I don't know what his coach got him on, but some of these coaches push a little bit more than what they should, and some of these guys freaking physiques just go overboard. You know what I mean? So like
Oh,
even for me, like bro, when I first came into to men's physique, I was natural. And then when I was like, okay, I know I got to get on this shit because I never wanted to, bro. I never wanted to be a bodybuilder in the first place because of the whole
Banks, you're still
stereotypical.
natural. Stop playing.
Hey, I
Look at
am
those
natural.
shoulders, bro. He's natural, bro.
I
He's
Hey,
saw
natural.
your update. I just saw your 242 update. What do you mean?
He's
hey,
natural.
all natty.
Do you take
But the
creatine?
thing, hell no, I don't take creatine. I've never taken creatine in my life.
Listen, I'm gonna
But
tell
the
you right
thing
now.
is,
This
uh,
this is Dan. This is Dan's winning cycle right now. All right, and we'll keep it simple: testosterone, clenbuterol, Winstrol. That nigga don't need nothing else. I'm telling you right now, he
I
can
he
believe
cut.
it.
shouldn't need nothing else.
He can
He need to
cut
cut everything.
every. He can cut everything
He
else.
should he should just kind of taper off everything and take the minimum, maybe just drop the oils 2 weeks out.
I mean, that's what Chiron did.
Hmm.
That's how he streamlined his physique in such a short amount of time.
And that's
But
the thing, like
again,
with Cuts, bro. Me and Cuts first got on, I asked him. I said, "So, do I have to take a lot of shit?" He was like, "Yeah." And I said,
Next thing you
"Bro,
know,
I
you
don't.
won Mr.
I,
Olympia.
I've never taken anything." He was like, "What you mean?" I said, "Steroids." He was like, "You, no." I said, "No, I went pro naturally." And bro, like I'm up here asking him questions and shit like, yo, where do I shoot? How do I shoot this? What notch do I go to? Bro, I don't know how to read a fucking syringe. I don't know what the fuck all this stuff is. And what's crazy, bro, we've never pushed the limit. Never. Never just went just overboard.
Let
It
me
was
say this to put things
minimum.
into perspective for some people. So if you took every men's physique Olympian, okay, with what they look right now, and just they weren't enhanced. Let's say they came off of everything and we had a natural Olympia with all the guys that were qualified, 46 guys last year. Um, I still think a lot of like we would all look enhanced. Genetics are king. They play a role, but it's the mindset.
Yeah.
So if you're dieting and you're training the same way, you might not have the crazy saran wrap skin, you might not have the vascularity, but these guys will still have the shape, the structure, and they'll still have the look to a
yeah,
degree. They're
yeah.
not going to be like how they are enhanced, obviously, but it does come down to the mindset. You're doing everything like, and I always applied it like this. If you make a cake, and you have one ingredient missing, that whole cake is going to taste like shit, right? So you have to have everything well rounded to have the actual complete product perfect. It's the same thing with bodybuilding.
The meal plan, the training plan, the recovery, the good coach, the overall execution of everything, the intensity, the purpose, the PEDs on top of it, and the genetics as well. Like again, that's the cake. You pull one of those things out from that, you pull the good coach from that situation, all of that can fall apart, right? You pull the
Facts.
recovery from that situation, all of that can fall apart, right? Keep that in mind. Like this is not a one. You're not just. PEDs do not make up for those things. They don't,
No.
right? That's it. It's just a supplement. It adds to, period. But with that being said, guys, I do want to highlight the bracket here. I feel like, dude, this is almost an hour and a half, and I feel like we've just been chilling. I hope you guys like this. We've been calling these podcasts cardio killers.
Yep.
But for those of you watching, this is something that we've come up with that we wanted to bring to life simply due to putting our, I'm not gonna say, putting our money where our mouth is when it comes to trying to not only add entertainment, add value, excitement, but also enhance the division that we love so much. We are going to put together a bracket. Okay, and this bracket is going to consist of the best backs in men's physique, right? And Drew brought up a good point. Over the next handful of months, we'll maybe pick another body part, something, right, and keep this going. But we're going to invest $500 on behalf of the podcast to the winner of that bracket. So whoever wins that bracket is going to be able to donate it to any show of their choosing. All right, but it's going to be up to you guys, the fans, the supporters, to vote. So if you don't already, please go follow the Men's Physique Radio Instagram page. We're going to be hosting it on there. We have awesome graphics being built up. We have cool comparisons being built up. This is not just going to be a photo and go vote, right? This is going to be more of an experience to a degree. But again, putting our money's where our mouth is. Right now the men's physique division at shows, some shows get $1,500, some get $2,000 maybe. For first placed. So just simply adding 500 to that is actually going to do something for those people. You know, it might be small, but again, it's something that we're going to be continuing to build on. If this gets momentum, you guys enjoy this, we can even do potential donations, you know, in the future, whatever, right? All 100% goes towards, a contest like this and the winnings for a show. But like I said, the athlete will decide whatever show that he wants to commit that money to. It could be a show that he's doing. You know, it doesn't matter, right? We just want to continue to add value. We'll reach out to the promoters. We'll build that relationship. We're going to continue to do things like this. And again, you know, it's just a small way that we're going to be able to give back. More information will be coming out about this. So please, guys, if you are interested in being a part of this, all we ask for you to do is your vote, your comment, share it, you know, get more exposure to the contest. The brackets will be put up and posted frequently. We'll pin it to the top of our page. And again, this is one way we just simply want to give back, and I'm going to be posting a little bit more detail about it over the next couple of days. We're going to start this next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. So in each podcast, we'll talk briefly about kind of, you know, some of the votes and kind of give review and analysis of where the leaders are, and we'll reach out to each athlete individually, and then obviously we'll reach out to even some of the top coaches to kind of give their opinion and help push this as well. So again, keep a lookout for that. And again, if you don't already follow Men's Physique Radio. Outside of that, guys, is there anything else you guys want to wrap up with? Anything you guys want to say?
To be honest, man, I just really want to thank everybody who's just really been posting. We're gonna keep reposting, and we're just doing this to better our division, and again, we've built our little brotherhood here with this trio, and again, we're just giving back to the division and the league of the IFBB. So.
We just started this page less than 2 weeks ago, and we just hit I know it's small, but we just
We
hit
got 1,000.
1,000.
We had 1,000. Make sure y'all reshare and repost that, because again, it's only going to help us grow, and it's only going to help us push better content and things like that. And again, like I said, we have these brackets and certain things that we're going to start pushing out to get you guys engaged even more. So let us know if you guys want to see anything different, or if you guys want to see or have us say certain things or do certain recap on anything else. Just
comment below. Throw your questions below. We want to start getting the questions from the actual Instagram page. That'd be dope, or the YouTube channel. So comment below any questions you come up with, and again, help grow this division and grow this sport. But outside of that, guys, again, another episode down. Drew, next video we will be recapping the Optimum Pro, and we're gonna let Aaron take that one over.
I'm gonna have to run now.
I'm excited, bro.
Again, brother, I can't wait to see you. You got to promise though, you got to get sushi or something with me after the show.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll have Johnny down there.
I'll make sure you overeat, so then you spill over for Miami.
Yeah, because my body can't handle that. Yours might be able to. Oh man, we'll talk about Miami next week too. It's gonna be a fucking movie. But outside of that, guys, we appreciate you. We love you guys, and until next time.